Okay, we were discussing about the energy, right? We were discussing about the energy and we just studied how energy can be used. So energy is used everywhere, right? In activities that we are doing day-to-day life, we need energy. So plants, it needs energy. Animals need energy, right? So that is how we do work. That is ability to do some work. And actually, this energy comes from different sources, and we learn the solar energy. How can it be use solar energy to that heat, basically to create a solar cooker or stove? So this is a life-saving skill again. Why I'm telling this is life-saving skill? Because so this can be used especially when you are hiking or when you are in a jungle somewhere, like we cannot. You cannot directly access energy. You can use this solar energy. And solar is not just for heat. Solar can be used for different other things like generating power, right? I think nowadays this is more a timely topic because we are having a lot of issues in Sri Lanka. Basically, we are having lack of supply for fuel, petrol, diesel, kerosene. So, but the thing is, still we couldn't find any good source to replace these things within Sri Lanka as like to the community. So there are people who have found solutions. Even I have solar solution in my home, and so some of actually some so 10%, less than 10% of the people, they are having their own way. They are having their own way of solving this energy issue. But majority of people, they are suffering because of this energy, not having energy, right? But basically, temperature. So there are two measurements that you can use to measure temperature. One is Celsius and the other one is Fahrenheit. So do you know the difference between these two, Fahrenheit and Celsius? Yes, what's the difference? Fahrenheit and Celsius. So both are measurements, right? Both are measurements. Fahrenheit is also a measurement. Celsius is also a measurement which is used to measure the temperature. So do you have any idea? So what's Fahrenheit? What is Celsius? So how can you measure? So what is the relationship? Okay, please remember this. So Fahrenheit, Celsius can be calculated, right? So normally 32 Fahrenheit is equal to 0 Celsius. So please write down it. Measuring temperature. Heading is measuring temperature. We have two units. Generally, there are two units. So one is Celsius. The other one is Fahrenheit. Celsius, the other one is Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit. So those are the two measurement units that we can use. And so 32 Fahrenheit is equal to 0 Celsius. So basically, we used to have small something like this in front of Celsius, and in front of Fahrenheit also we put that small. Sorry, I have to keep a gap. 32 Fahrenheit is equal to 0 Celsius, and there is a small unit like this. This is how you measure the Fahrenheit. Anshaka kilake. So Celsius Anshaka. Degrees. 0 degrees Celsius, 32 degrees Fahrenheit. There is a formula, but I don't think that you need to know that formula. But in case if you want, the formula is in case if you need, right? This will not be asked in the examination, but in case if you need, like this is required. So if you want to do calculations, f minus 32 multiplied by 5 and divided by 9. So you have write like this, the bracket is needed. And that is basically equal to Celsius measurement, right? It is equal to the Celsius measurement. Oh, sorry, my mistake. Equal to Celsius measurement. Here you have a divisor. එතන බෙදීමක් තියෙනවා. එතකොට ෆැරන්හයිට් වලින් 32ක් අඩු කරලා 9න් 5න් වැඩි කරාම හරි. නැත්නම් ෆැරන්හයිට් වලින් 32ක් අඩු කරලා 5න් වැඩි කරලා 9න් බෙදුවම හරි. ඒතකොට සෙල්සියස් එනවා. ඒතර ඕකම අනිත් පැත්තට අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන් ෆැරන්හයිට් කියන එක ෆැරන්හයිට් නෙවෙයි සෙල්සියස් යනකට සමානයි. ඕකේ අනිත් පැත්තට ගන්න පුළුවන් අපිට ෆැරන්හයිට්. එතකොට ෆැරන්හයිට් සමානයි සෙල්සියස් අපි වැඩි කරන්න ඕන කියන්නේ. සෙල්සියස් වැඩි කරන්න ඕන මේ පැත්තට ෆැරන්හයිට් ගත්තම සෙල්සියස් වැඩි කරන්න ඕන 9 බෙදීම 5න් 9න් 5න් අර 5න් 9න් 9න් 5න් තිබ්බේ මේක 5න් 9 වැඩි කරලා ඒකෙන් එකට එකතු කරන්න ඕන 32. එතකොටත් මේක ඕනනම් අර බෙදීම 9 ඇල මෙහෙම හරස් ඉරක් 5 කියලා ලියන්නත් පුළුවන්. එහෙමත් ගන්න පුළුවන්. So that is also you can take. Either you can subtract 32 from Fahrenheit and multiply by 5 divided by 9, or either you can multiply the Celsius from 9 divided by 5 and add 32. So both ways will work. This is this equation. Please write down converting Celsius to Fahrenheit and Fahrenheit to Celsius. Write down the heading converting Celsius to Fahrenheit and Fahrenheit to Celsius. I'm going to give it here itself, right? මෙතන ලියන්න ඔයාලා පිළිවෙලට ලියා ගන්න ඕනේ. Converting, but don't worry, this won't be tested. Celsius to Fahrenheit and Fahrenheit to Celsius. That is the heading. Under that you can write this equation. Two equations. This is actually how we convert Celsius to Fahrenheit to Celsius. This is how we convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. Okay, normally let's say fever measured in this number, let's say 90, just for fun, right? 98.6 Fahrenheit, 98.6 Fahrenheit. So can you convert that to Celsius, please? Just for fun, do the calculation. You can use calculator, doesn't matter. You don't want to calculate manually, just use the calculator and do it. 98.6 Fahrenheit. How many Celsius? I'm asking how many Celsius. So just do the calculation for fun. So just use the like you can use a calculator. Doesn't matter. Tell me the answer. So what you have to do? You have to use this equation C. C equal, so what? F is 98.6 minus 32 multiplied by 5. You can say multiplied by 5. The ultimate answer you need to divide it. Divided by final answer, you are divided by 9, right? So let's see, divide by 9. Okay, then 98.6 minus 32 is 6. 6 here, 6. 66.6. 66.6 into 5. And it is divided by, and still you have to divide that by 9. So if it is difficult, you can use calculator, doesn't matter, anything works. So just use calculator and see. But that is easy, multiplying by 5 is easy. So because 5 into 6 is 30, 0 here, 5 into 6 is 30 plus that 3 is 33, and 5 into 6 is 30, 30 plus that 3 is 33. So it is actually 333. So but let's calculate, if you want to see the accuracy of our calculation, 66.6, 66, I need to use other ones. Basic calculator, 66.6 multiplied by 5 is 333 beyond 9. It is 37, right? 37 in Celsius. So this is how we do the calculation. It's 37 in Celsius. Just show the calculation quickly. So this is how the conversion happened. These are 2 units. Celsius is 1 unit and Fahrenheit is another unit. Sometimes we measure temperature in Celsius, sometimes we measure in Fahrenheit. Finish?
Sir, I can't hear you.
Still, you can't? Hello? Can you hear me? Cannot happen. Can you hear me, Tisandi?
I can't hear you, sir.
Oh, so what is that? Hello? But I can hear you properly. Right. So we learn about different things. We learn about different like conversions. I just explained about how to convert this Celsius to Fahrenheit, Fahrenheit to Celsius, how it is done. You can watch the recording since you have a small problem. So you can just watch the recording so that will help you understand that. So anyway, these kind of energy sources are all around us. So sun, biomass, fossil fuel, wind, running water, sea waves, and tidal waves, geothermal, nuclear power, kinetic energy. So there are a lot of energy sources like that. So everywhere that we can see these energy sources. So only thing is how we can utilize them and what is the feasibility. So we can't use all these, like for an example, a country like Sri Lanka is not capable enough, it's not really capable of using nuclear power. But if we can establish a nuclear plant, so there will be a different result. But unfortunately, we don't have geothermal and these sea waves, or udamrala sea waves. So this can be used to generate electricity. Running water, so we do that, right? We have hydro plants, hydroelectric plants, we have that because running water, so we are using that. Wind, we are using, we have some wind turbines in the, so if you have visited Meepiliman area, there is a wind turbine, there are wind turbines used. Fossil fuel, yes, we use day to day. Fossil fuel, even though we don't have that resource in Sri Lanka, still we can import and use. Biomass, so that we need to adapt biomass also. Sun, actually we are using that in minimum way. I think we have to use more solar energy. So solar can be used to generate electricity, right? So basically what the things that we do with the sunlight is drying chilies, maybe making lime pickle, lundehi, you know, lime pickle, so drying chilies, drying vegetables, we are using it, and drying clothes. Yes, we are using for that. So running vehicle, basically we use fossil fuel. Cooking, so we can use biomass or firewood or liquid petroleum gas. But you know, again, we have issue. The liquid petroleum gas is rare in the cell. And so therefore, we can, so what else you can use for cooking meal? So there are a lot of alternative ways. Other than firewood and LP gas, is there any other way? Yes, firewood, Natandara Saha, gas Harunama, Venamana do Yana Pavi chicken and Tramuputi. Lanka, in Sri Lanka.
Hot plate.
Yeah, electricity, yes, hot plates, electricity, oven, microwave ovens. That is also electricity. Anything else? Anything else? Other than the electricity?
Biogas.
Yeah, biogas you can use. Yeah, very good. Biogas. So do you know coconut charcoal and charcoal? Galnaguru. Saha coconut charcoal can polkatu anguru.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we can use that as well, right? Coconut shell charcoal as well as the charcoal for cooking, that is possible. Then you can use kerosene, like, you know, kerosene stove. No, they have kerosene. Yeah, kerosene cooker. That is also available in Sri Lanka. So this one. Lamutel lipa kila kerosene cooker. Right? Bhumitel uduna. So that is also available, kerosene cooker. But kerosene is not available. Kerosene cooker is available. Right? That is the thing. LPG, the gas cooker is available. Gas is not available. Fortunately, we can still use biomass. But again, so biomass cookers are available. Biomass is not available in cities and flats. So the city area, it's very difficult to find biomass. But so I saw that there are some innovations like so small these wood pedals. Wood pedal cookers. So these things are available, right? Wood pellets, not wood pellets. Wood pellets are available, so that can be used for the cooking purpose. Wood pellets, right? So that can be used. So wood pellet is another way that we can use for cooking. And charcoal. So coconut shell charcoal. Coconut shell charcoal is another way we can use. This also can be used for stoves, cooking. And not only that, normal charcoal, you know, for this charcoal cooker, normal charcoal can also be used. So why? Because like especially this barbecue ovens and all, they use this charcoal. And that is not coconut charcoal, but still you can use this kind of charcoal. And these are some alternatives for cleaning purpose which can use. Okay, then ironing clothes. What we can use other than these things? Coconut shell charcoal, that is also biomass. Electricity. Other than that, is there any ironing method? Yes, Putte? Other than coconut shell, biogas, electricity, is there any other way of ironing clothes? Ready iron කරන්න වෙන විදි දැකලා නැද්ද? Can you hear me again? Your silence. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this one. So haven't you seen steam iron? Steam iron, steamers, wash powering iron කරන දැකලා නැද්ද? So that can
Yes, sir.
be steam irons and strength. That can also be there. That is also electricity, but it can even be using charcoal or some kind of heat in water. LPG, that is mostly used. Electricity or the biomass, fossil fuels, all these can be used heat in water. And also coconut shell charcoal, that is also a biomass. The biomass is generally used for the natural, like the shell or the wood shell, the coconut shell charcoal, these things are basically covered under biomass, right? Anyway, so these are some methods that we can use. Drying chilies can be done using electricity. So these are some additional sources. Electricity can also be used to grind chili. Electricity can be used, and okay, these are the things. Right. So then, do you know how to how can we create liquid petroleum using petrol? We have done small experiment. I have seen that in STEAM school we have done small experiment. So that was common experiments. Most of the people have done that in YouTube. That method is there. Have you seen? But this is a bit dangerous, so don't do this alone.
No, sir.
Like, don't do this without a support of a parent. Like, what you have to do is you can use petrol to form like liquid petroleum gas, petrol to LPG. So that can be done. Right, you can see this. This is a simple way of doing that, but this is explosive, okay, right? This is explosive. So you have to be very careful when you are using this kind of thing, but still this is possible. It's practically possible, but the thing is this is need to be done with some safety measurements done. I thought here, so actually here we need to use small source of to provide compressed air, right? Compressed or anyway air flow. Better a compressed air. පීඩිත වාතය පොඩ්ඩක් පීඩනයක් යටතේ හුලං එන්න ඕන compressed air. You can use the oxygen pump in fish tank, oxygen motor in fish tank to do this. මාළු ටැංක් වල තියෙන චූටි oxygen බට කියලා අර නිකන් එන්නේ මේ ventilation එක. හුලං අරන් දෙන්න මාළු ටැංකියට. දැකලා තියෙනවද එළියෙන් තියෙන fish tank වල? If you have not seen, let me show. So sometimes these things practically don't know. So let me show that fish oxygen source, oxygen pump. It's a very simple thing, right? It's actually not filtering oxygen much, but this is very small unit. Yeah. It's a very small unit. So which is used to, this is air pump, right? Acquiring air pump, not oxygen, not just oxygen, it is air. So it basically bubble up. It bubbles the water. Air goes inside. So through this pump, yeah. Then the compressed air is sent. Then these bubbles are formed. Have you seen that? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. So then, okay, then so this bubbling is basically the bubbles here actually this. So let me draw the connection. This bubble line, so I'm drawing this in red color. This line is going into the petrol. This is petrol, right? It's petrol. When petrol compressed air. Then what will happen? When this air moves to when this air goes into the petrol, when it goes into the petrol, so what will happen? There will be bubbles. So these bubbles will come up. These bubbles will come up, and that bubbles will. So bubbles is what? These bubbles having petrol in it. Why? That is gas status petrol. The reason is, petrol is highly, so it is when it is exposed to the normal environment, you can feel, you can smell it very well, right? Petrol සුවඳ පදටම දැනෙනවා නේද? petrol pump කරනකොට එහෙම සුවඳ එනවා නේද? It's really, right? So why? Because it evaporates. It evaporates very, very soon. That is why you can feel that smell when you are pumping petrol. Petrol the hard is one that petrol so the petrol. Because it is highly, right? So this it basically converted into air very soon. Therefore, when bubbles send, when මේ කුංචි බෝලය යවම petrol මොකද වෙන්නේ? Petrol gas status එකට evaporate වෙනවා. This evaporated gas is then sent to ඊළඟ line එක. This evaporated gas is then sent to the water bottle, and there will be bubbles in the water because of the pressure. So what's the reason why we need to send these evaporated bubbles into the water bottle? Why we need to send this gas into water bottle? So what's the reason? Hello? Yes, but what හිතන්නේ ඇයි දැන් මේ petrol මේකේ යටට යනවා එතකොට මේ උලංග වලින් උඩට බෝල එනවා ඒ බෝල තියෙන petrol වාෂ්ප. මේ petrol වාෂ්පනේ අපිට ඕන. petrol වාෂ්ප අපිට පත්තු කරන්න බෑ. හැබැයි ඒක වතුරට යනවා. හේතුව මොකක්ද? Sent to the water. වතුරේ දිය කරන්න දෙයවන්නේ. What's the reason? Don't know.
No idea, sir.
එකපාර අපිට මේ petrol වාෂ්ප වලට ගිනි මෙතනින් ගින්දරාවක් මොකද වෙන්නේ? වාෂ්ප ටිකත් එක්ක මේකත් ගිනි ගන්නවා නේද?
Yes, sir.
The වාෂ්ප වලින් ඇවිල්ලා this is evaporated petrol, no? So it is highly flammable. So when there is fire, so there is a possibility, higher possibility to fire to come in and then burn this petrol, and ultimately it can even blast. පිපිරිලා යන්න පුළුවන්. තේරුණාද?
Yes, sir.
එක reason එකක්. අනිත් එක when this gas is not provided, මේ petrol එකට මේ gas දෙන්නේ නැහැ කිව්ව compressed air එක දෙන්නේ නැහැ. එතකොට මේක නිකම්ම තිබ්බොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? ඒත් මේ petrol වාෂ්ප වෙනවා. ඊට මේ air එක නැත්තම් මොකද වෙන්නේ? නිකම්ම අපි හිතමු මේ air එක දුන්නේ නැතත් එතනින් අපි මේ petrol වාෂ්ප ගන්න හිතාගෙන බටයක් දාලා තිබ්බොත් නිකන් හිතන්න petrol can එකක් කරලා තිබ්බොත් what will happen if you open a petrol can? When you see next day there will be less petrol, right? Because it evaporates. එයාට අග්ගාලා වාෂ්ප වෙලා යනවා. ඒතර මෙයාට තනියෙන් වාෂ්ප වෙන්න පුළුවන්ද? මේකේ පීඩනයක් දෙන්නේ නැත්නම් තනියෙන් වාෂ්ප වෙන්න පුළුවන්ද මෙයාට? වතුර ඇතුලේ මාෂ් වෙලා යන්න පුළුවන්ද?
No, sir.
බෑනේ වතුර ඇතුලේ වතුරෙම පීඩනයක් එනවා. වතුරෙන් එන පීඩනය මෙයා වාෂ් වෙන එක වළක්වන්නේ. There is another reason. So water pressures and water works as a seal. Therefore, petrol cannot evaporate by itself. Usually, petrol can evaporate, but the water works as a seal and stop that. That is one reason. When pressure is given, so this will be pressured, so bubbles will be released. So this will be pressured, the bubbles will be released. That bubbles will go through this tunnel or this pipe, and then you can inflame that. You can make fire. So this is for the safety as well as to stop evaporation when the air is compressed air is not provided. So that is the reason. Okay, you can create this, but we have to get help of one of your parents. Don't do this alone. This is inflatable and inflammable, as well as it can blast. It may cause accidents. So be careful when you are doing these things. Let's move to the note back again. Okay, so sun is one of the best energy source. Actually, the sun powers our solar system. ඉරේලිය තමයි අපේ solar system එක ගොඩ දාලා දීලා තියෙන්නේ. Sun powers our solar system. So why we are living in the earth? The reason is sun. Why we have food? The reason is sun. Why we have water in our planet in liquid status? The reason is sun. So why we are a habitable planet? The reason is sun. Right here, the reason is always sun. So this is a habitable planet. We can live there. The reason is sun. So that is the main energy source that we see and that we use in our day-to-day life. Actually, that can be used. Solar water heater. That is one of the main usage in Sri Lanka. We are using this heavily. I have seen the solar water heaters everywhere. Do you have one at home? In your home?
No, sir.
Right. But most of the places, because we don't need heaters, because we are in Western province, right? You are in Southern province.
Uva province.
Uva province. Then Uva province, you need from our province is sometimes it's hot, right? It's not too cool. You're in Badulla or Bandaravela?
Bandaril, sir.
Oh, then you need that name. Bandaravela, but you adapted to that. Is it?
Yes, sir.
All right, okay. Sorry, right? So what is your school? Bandaravela, which school you are?
Bandaril St. Joseph's College.
St. Joseph's College, right? Okay. So what about the situation there? So are you like, is there energy? So energy in terms of the energy, do you have this fuel supply, petrol, diesel, and all? So is it okay, or you have large queues?
No, sir.
Very large queues.
Yes, sir.
You can use to walk to your school, right? Is it closer?
No, sir.
Then how you go to school? Online. Or you are not going to school? School යන්නේ කොහොමද මේ දවස්වල?
මේ දවස්වල යන්නේ නැහැ, sir.
මේ දවස්වල යන්නේ නැහැ. Right. Do you have online schools then? Online තියෙනවද? නැද්ද?
තාම නැහැ, sir.
Okay, that is a problem. Anyway, so let's together we have to face this issue. Anyway, you can use this as one thing that is for the water heater and the solar panel. So you can use a solar panel with this. So if you have this power problem, you can use a small solar panel to keep your laptop charging and keep your router running. So small solar panel will be enough to do that, right? You have solar energy in Bandaravela also, because you can see the sunlight. So you can use that as energy. So try to have a backup plan. So you know how to install a solar? How solar is done?
No, sir.
It's very easy. Let me tell. Right? What you have to do is put a solar panel in a corner. The number one requirement, I'll tell you, right? You can practice මෙහෙමයි. ඔයා යක්කා ඉස්සලා කරාවක දැන් මට මේක කරන්න නැත්නම් මම practice කරා. Right? So you need a solar panel, right? But solar panel is big costly these days. So let me show this. Cost එක වැඩි බලමු අපි. මේ වගේ පැනල් එකක් වාට යූස් කරන්න පුළුවන් මේ වැඩේට. හැබැයි මේකේ පැනල්ස් තුනක්වත් ඕන වෙයි. Because this is 10 watt panels නේ. So this is bit cheap, not cheaper, but still expensive. But to have this, you can use this kind. To start, you can use a small solar panel, right? So let's you can parallelly put 3 panels. අපි දැන් මේ වගේ එකක් ගන්නවා කියලා හිතමුකෝ. So let's think. So this is practically you need, right? Maybe you can show this video to your parents and get their help. Let's say you buy this one, then you need how many solar panels? At least you need 3 solar panels. I'm going to draw that, right? These green color things are solar panels, right? At least you need 3 because 3 will work. 3 is okay, like 3 is not actually. So this is not for a very large system. Because මේ solar panel හැම එකකම තියෙනවා ධන ඍණ. Plus and minus. මම මේක මාක් කරන්න. මම ධන මාක් කරන්න රතු පාටින්. All these solar panels having plus and minus මම මේකෙන් blue එකෙන් මාක් කරනවා, right? Minus එහෙම තියෙනවා panel එක ගන්නකොට ධන ඍණ ගහලා තියෙනවා මේක. This is DC current. DC current එක හින්දා තමයි ධන ඍණ ගහලා තියෙන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ ඔයාට හම්බ වෙනවා cables. මේකේ තියෙන cable එකම පුළුවන්. You can use the existing cable or you can use you can buy a 2-pole cable. මේකට අදාළ 2-pole cable එකක් සාමාන්‍ය wiring wire උත් ප්‍රමාණවත් මේකට පොඩි එකක් නේ. මේ panels 3ක් අරගෙන ඊට පස්සේ මේ ධන ටික connect කරන්න. එකල wire එකක් ගන්නවා. ඊට පස්සේ ඍණ ටිකත් connect කරනවා. Then you have to connect this cathode. Anode is plus node, that cathode. So you have to connect and get that. Then you have to keep this solar panel in your roof or somewhere which is facing solar, right? Solar වලට face කරන තැනක තියන්න. Okay, now we have 3 panels. So 3 panels connected to all these things. And so this will output how many volt? Making volt කීයක් එයිද පුතේ? So this is 12 volt. You need to know this practically, right? Volt 12ක් තියෙනවා මේකක. ඒතර මෙතනක් තියෙනවා volt 12ක්. මෙතනක් තියෙනවා volt 12ක්. So what will happen? You'll get how many volts?
12 volts.
Very good. You will still get 12 volt. Why? Connected parallelly නේද? සමාන්තරව සම්බන්ධ කරොත් මේ 12ව 3ක් තිබ්බත් වෙන්නේ 12මයි. තේරුණාද ඒක? දන්නවද? You know that? Or don't know? දැනගෙනද කිව්වේ දැනගන්න නැතුවද කිව්වේ?
No, sir.
Did you know or you didn't know? You guessed. Is it?
I don't know, sir.
You didn't know, right? You guessed and then, right? Anyway, so you'll get 12 volts. Yes. හරි. 12ව 3ක් parallel ගැවුවොත් 12 volts. හැබැයි ඔයාලට පුළුවන් පුතේ මේක බැටරි එකකින් ගෙන ගන්න. මේව දැන් අමතක කරන්න එපා. හරිද? අපි හිතමුකෝ මෙහෙම 3 volt පොඩි බැටරි තියනවා නේද? ඔය රිමෝට් වල තියෙන්නේ. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear? There are 3 volts batteries in remote, you know. 3
Yes,
volt,
sir.
3 volt, 1.5 volt. 1.5 volt. Make up 1.5 volt. එතකොට ඒ වගේ 1.5 volt battery දෙකක් මෙහෙම තිබ්බොත් මේකේ anode එක connect වෙන්නේ මේකේ cathode එකට. එතකොට මේ තියෙන මේකේ cathode එක මේකේ anode එක. මේකේ එනවා පුතේ 3 volt. 1.5 ඒවා දෙකක් මේකට අපි කියනවා ශ්‍රේණිගතව serially connected. If serially connected, you will get the total voltage. Okay, then you can lighten up LED bulb, making අපිට bulb එකක් පත්තු කරන්න පුළුවන්. torch එකක් තියෙනවා නම් torch එකේ bulb එකක් හරි LED bulb එකක් හරි අපිට පත්තු කරන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, හැබැයි එක බැටරියක් විතරක් දැම්මොත් මේ bulb එක එක්ක පත්තු වෙන්නේ නැහැ, නැත්නම් භාගයට පත්තු වෙනවා. එක බැටරියක් විතරක් දැම්මොත් bulb එක එක්ක පත්තු වෙන්නේ නැහැ. එහෙම නැත්නම් භාගයට පත්තු වෙනවා. Right? So half. This is 1.5 volt. එතකොට මේ panel තුන if it is connected parallelly connect කරනවා කියන්නේ ධන වලට connect කරනවා. anode to anode, anode to anode, then get it. cathode to cathode, cathode to cathode, then you will get 12 volt. 12 volt, right? But if you connect panels like this, but this is not recommended, but if you try to connect panels like this, so let's say you are connecting panels, this is cathode, and so let's say there is anode as well. ඕන නම් ඔයාලට මෙහෙම කරන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් මේ 12 volt panel දෙකක් කියලා හිතමුකෝ. If you need, you can connect like this with it. So you can connect anode to cathode. Then you can get a wire from anode and get a wire from cathode. Actually, since there are, so each of these is 12 volt. Let's say each of this is 12 volt. But you have connect anode to cathode, right? This is also 12 volt. So in case here you will get 24 volt as the output. 24 volt as the output. Okay. That is in the serial connection. This is called serial. And this is called parallel. So understood the difference?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If it is serial connection, you will get the total voltage. But if it is parallel connection, you will get the same voltage. But you will get more amperes. More amperes. Amperes varying, you know. Amperes it's like this. So I'm not sure whether you have heard of this ampere and voltage. Amperage කියලා කියන්නේ පුතේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි තුමු ගඟක් ගත්තොත් මේ ගඟේ ගලන වතුර ප්‍රමාණය. So if there is a river, so at a given time, the water flow, we can call that amperage. Right? If the river is narrow, it is, so let's measure this in amperage. So then which has less ampere? This one or this one? Right side or left side?
Right side.
Yes, right side has more ampere. ඒ කියන්නේ ගඟකින් ගලන වතුර ප්‍රමාණය එකපාර එක වරකට ගලන වතුර ප්‍රමාණය වගේ තමයි ampere කියන්නේ. ampere වැඩි වුණොත් අපිට ගොඩාක් current එක එනවා. So we will get good power. එතකොට තමයි ඉක්මනට charge වෙන්නේ එහෙම. ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැකලා තියෙනවද fast charging? Do you have heard of this fast charging phones? Have you heard?
Yes, sir.
Some chargers are slow charging නේද? සමහර chargers slow. සමහර chargers ටිකක් වේගෙන් charge වෙනවා. දැකලා නැද්ද ඔහොම? Haven't you seen?
දැකලා තියෙනවා, sir.
Right. So when the charging is faster, you get more amperes. එහෙනම් එතකොට ඔයාලට වතුර ගොඩාක් එනවා වගේ හරියට. වතුර ගොඩක් ආවොත් භාජනය ඉක්මනට පිරෙනවනේ. but වතුර පොඩ්ඩක් භාජනය කියන්නේ බැටරිය මෙතනදී. වතුර පොඩ්ඩක් ආවොත් භාජනය පිරෙනවා. හැබැයි හිමීට පිරෙනවා. ඒතර එක පැනල් එකක් දැම්මොත් බැටරිය charge වෙනවා හිමීට. But if you install multiple panels, if you install one panel, that is slow charging. If you install multiple panels parallelly, then fast charging. That is why I said that at least use 3 panels. Panel 3ක්වත් use කරන්න. But you are not going to connect this to the battery directly. Remember this step. You are not going to connect this. You can charge a battery. That is true. Metanda bulb එකක් set කරොත් bulb එක පත්තු වෙනවා. If you connect 12 volt bulb, you can see the light. If you connect a motor, you can see the rotation. But that is not the solar system that you are going to use. You have to use something called charger controller. Charger controller. මේ වගේ එකක් අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන්. So we can buy this kind of thing from Daras for small amount. Solar charger controller. There are two kind of controllers, but PWM කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒක ටිකක් අඩුවට ගන්න පුළුවන්. Solar charger controller. Right now, let's see the price. So you can see you can buy a controller. So for a small amount like 3,000, right? 3,000 rupees, you can buy a charger controller. Right. The first thing that we need, what's the first thing that we need? First thing that we need is, yes, a solar panel. What is the second thing that we need? First thing that we need is solar panel. We have to connect them parallelly. Then what you need? Tisandi, again hearing problem.
No, sir.
Okay, second unit charger controller. The charger controller owner, irradiate venas වෙනවනේ. වෙලාවෙන් වෙලාවට. Sunlight will be different. So the amount of current comes will be different. Therefore, you need to control that. So sometimes high voltage, sometimes the voltage can go up, sometimes it can go down. Amperage can go up, amperage can go down. Therefore, you need a charger controller that has two ports to connect to the battery. So you have to connect the plus to the battery anode and minus to the battery cathode. Now your system is halfway done. So this has two wires, so which will charge your battery anode and the cathode. So anode here and the cathode here. You can charge your battery here. You can use a battery. මෙතන තමයි ඔයා battery එක පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. This is your battery, right? This in anode, cathode. This is your battery, and let's draw the wire again. Let's connect your anode and cathode. Now, Pute. So this battery is basically 12 volt battery. Volt battery I used. Now if you have 12 volt bulbs, volt 12 bulb තියෙනවා නම් right? ඔයාට දැන් කෙලින්ම මේක පත්තු කරන්න පුළුවන්. volt 12 bulb තියෙනවා නම් ඒ bulb එක කෙලින්ම පත්තු කරගන්න පුළුවන්. This is called off grid system. Off grid කියලා කියන්නේ ඉර එළිය තියෙන වෙලාවට මේක charge වෙනවා. When sunlight present it will charge. When sunlight is absent, you can get the current from battery. So this is what the solar system is. It's very simple, right? So you can try. You need to have solar panel, charger controller, a battery, maybe bulbs and all to work with solar, get a 12 volt. Otherwise, you need an inverter. This is the inverter. Then make a current එක අපිට වදීද? From 12 volt battery, are we going to get an electric shock?
No, sir.
No. Why? Why is that? ඇයි මේ 12 කරන්ට් එක අපිට වදින්නේ නැත්තේ? 12 volt no. 12 volt වදින්නේ නැහැ. හේතුව ඒක අපිට දරා ගන්න පුළුවන් වදිනවා ඒක දැනෙන්නේ නැහැ අපිට. හැබැයි 230 volt 230 volt වදිනවද නැද්ද අපිට?
වදිනවා sir.
මේන් කරන්ට් එක වදිනවා. මේ වෝල්ටේජ් එක කියන්නේ පුතේ වතුර වැටෙන උස වගේ. දැන් උස දියැලකින් වතුර වැටෙනකොට ඔළුව ඇල්ලුවොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? දියැලක් යන්න කියලා ඔළුව ඇල්ලුවොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? ගොඩාක් උස එකකට. රිදෙයිද නැද්ද?
රිදෙයි sir.
Right, you will get a shock. So that is the same thing, right? එතකොට මේකේ උස තමයි වෝල්ටේජ් එක කියන්නේ හරියට. ඒතර වෝල්ට් 230යි නම් අපිට වදින්නේ ටිකක් උසදී ඇල්ලකින් වැඩෙන වතුර පාරක් ඔලුවට. ටිකක් රිදෙනවා. ටිකක් කියන්නේ පොඩ්ඩක් සෑහෙන රිදෙනවා right. හැබැයි වෝල්ට් 12 කියන්නේ මේ නිකන් මේ හරියින් අපි හිතමු බාල්දියකින් ඔලුවට වතුර එකක් දා ගන්නවා රිදෙනවද?
නෑ.
ඒක රිදෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒතර voltage කියන්නේ right. So you need to learn these things because like we will learn in future lessons. But I'm just telling. So don't need to buy hard now, but just have some idea. Voltage කියන්නේ කොච්චර උසකින්ද වතුර වැටෙන්නේ වගේ. එතකොට නිකන් වෝල්ට් 23000 වගේ වුණොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ?
අපෝ මැරෙයිද?
Okay, එතකොට කෙලින්ම වදිනවද කියලා හොයන්න බෑ. ඉවරයි කෙලින්ම. So you'll blast because that is very high voltage. Don't even think about that. So you will marry තුරුනොත් ඇති. Right? 23,000 is it's a very very high voltage. So but මේ වගේ ලොකු voltage එකක් තියෙදි ඈතට volt එක ගෙනියන්න පුළුවන්. කිලෝමීටර් ගාණක් ගෙනියන්න පුළුවන් කරන්ට් එක. ඒකයි ඔය මේ power වල තියෙන ඔය වතු දෙන්න මොනවාද ලයිට් කන වල ගෙනියන්නේ එක්ක 11000 නැත්නම් 23000 ඒ වගේ ලොකු ඒවානේ ගෙනියන්නේ ලයිට් කන වල. The reason is then you can move really away. So far away distances. That is why the high voltage, but this is shocking, right? This is absolutely shocking. 230 also shocking. But 12 volt, don't even worry, so you won't get electric shock from that, right? But be careful when you are using this because you are working with electronics, anyway. Be careful. So now you need, like, if you show this to your parent, he or she will help you create small solar system to charge and get a battery. So this is very important video. So share with your friends as well if they are interested in making off-grid system. So actually I said only for the 12 volt bulb, but if you need to convert this to 230 voltage, you need something called, you need something called inverter. So when you use inverter, it will convert 230 and then you can directly run your home, but this system is not enough to run. So maybe 1 or 2 bulbs you can run, but this is not powerful enough to run a large system. Then you have to employ a big battery, maybe 90 ampere 12 volt battery. Still that is not enough. You have to increase your charging plan. You have to add more panels maybe, or you have to add powerful panels, have a powerful charge controller, powerful battery, and then you can do that. Okay, Pute, with that I'll stop. So today's lesson is really practical. It's about energy. Then good night. See you all next week.
Good night, sir. Thank